Welcome to another edition of From the Vault. It's presented by the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame. I'm Todd Lewis, and today's historical race goes back to Mosport, where the American ASA Tour tries their hand at road course racing. A bunch of Canadian Motorsport Hall of Famers are in the field, and what we get to see is a youngish Vic Rauter and a younger Ralph Sheheen. 31 ASA cars take on the 10 turns of Mosport, right here from the vault.
Hello everybody and welcome to Mosport Park and the final event of the 1992 Players Limited Cup. I hate to admit it, Larry, but I can remember in the mid-60s coming here to Mosport USAC races and seeing people like Mario Andretti in a stock car, Richard Petty. A.J. Foyt still has the unofficial lap record here. That was set in 1978. Nice to see the stocks back here on a road course.
Well, it's nice to see these North American assembly line family sedans back. You know, I have grown up with ASA racing. I'm from the Midwest in the United States, and I've seen these race cars for 20 years, and we always have a discussion about, well, what do we talk about in the open? It was a layup for me this time. This is the most important day in ASA history. Running on a road course opens up an entirely new venue for them. There are a lot of questions with the cars and the drivers. And one other thing, Vic, I have never seen a field of stock cars with so many good Canadian road racers and American racers in stock cars. This is like an international stock car championship.
Well, very much so. And in the fact that the Canadians knew that they were coming, you have a Kenny Wilden who has dominated the Players Limited GM Series this year. He is on the pole, but you're right, it does raise a lot of questions. How will the ASA drivers adapt to a road course? Maybe Ralph Sheheen can answer some of those questions. Ralph?
Well, two of those questions are, how are these ASA cars going to do on gas and on tires? Well, for the teams that are real gamblers in the group, they're going to try and go all the way on one tank load of fuel and one set of tires.
And on the pole, Kenny Wilden, who has won 7 of 9 Players Limited GM races this year, comes into a brand new car, his Midas Muffler Pontiac, and takes the pole. Peter Cohen out of Montreal, also a Players GM. Leighton Reese, he is a veteran road racer now in ASA. John Cadman Jr. out of Hamilton, the Motormaster Oldsmobile, again, Players GM. Bill Adden, well, he's raced everything from Porsches to GTPs. The native of Burlington, now in Miami, and the veteran Bob Seneca.
In the fourth row, side by side, will be John Benson Jr. Big surprise this week, and he's crashed, but he's also been very fast. Veteran road racer Scott Lagasse. Then in the fifth row, Lou Gelati and Jeff Neal, Mike Eddy and Tony Raines. In the seventh row, Glenn Allen Jr., the Track Auto Pontiac and Gary St. Amant. Tom Harrington, Tim Fedowa, then John Freeman and Steve Petty in the Wins Lumina. Jay Sauter and Harold Fair occupy row number 10. Brad Loney, outstanding rookie, and Top Forbes in the 21st and 22nd starting positions. Then Holtzhausen, Dennis Lampman, Tom Jones, Greg Freed, followed by Tony Roper, Kent Stauffer, Terry Wenty, Joe Knott, and David Anspaugh.
A field of 31 cars ready to take the green flag when we come back to Mosport.
From the Vault is brought to you by M-Zone, premium auto care proudly owned and made by Canadians. By Recap Recovery Drink. By WeatherTech, for the perfect fit and ultimate in vehicle protection, nothing protects like WeatherTech. Order online at weathertech.ca. And by the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame. Visit our website for hall merchandise.
Welcome back to Mosport as the cars now get ready to come around through turn 8 and then through turn 9, 10, and we're going racing.
And 24 of these drivers are just seconds away from doing something they've never done before at racing speed. Turn right. It's unbelievable.
And in the blue car, the veteran of Players GM Racing, 7 of 9 races this year, Kenny Wilden from Burlington is on the pole. Here they come through turn 10. Peter Cohen of Montreal is on the outside, ready for the green flag. The starter saying, keep it together, keep it together. For the first time, ASA stock cars are going road racing. And into turn 1, it looks like Cohen has the outside line, and he will take the lead as you see the number 88, the veteran. That is indeed Mike Eddy, the 40-year-old. Yes, it is. It's Cohen. Then it is followed by Wilden and John Cadman and Bill Adams.
The all-time winningest driver in ASA stock car competition, Bob Seneca, is in a blue number 84 side by side for the lead. He appears to be the front runner among the people who run in the ovals turning left normally.
Wilden looks up the inside. Cohen, they started on the front row, and it's so important. And yes, he has him back. Kenny Wilden.
Oh, and Wilden actually overcooks it going into the corner there. He allows the door open for Cohen. Cohen moves to the inside. There is Leighton Reese in that white number 6. He has been an ASA regular all year, although his roots are in road racing. And right now, Reese looks like he's got the best advantage.
And look what's happened to Wilden because he got off at Moss Corner. And looking up the inside, John Cadman. So you really do have 3 drivers from the Players Limited Series as they go through 8. And look at Cadman get by Wilden, and Wilden had to stand on it.
And something happened to Leighton Reese. We lost a glimpse of him for just a second, and he slipped back. I do believe that Leighton is still in that group of first 6 or 7 cars, though.
So we complete 1 lap, and your leader is Peter Cohen in that STP Oldsmobile out of Montreal, followed by the number 76 of John Cadman. In 3rd place, it is the pole sitter, Kenny Wilden, and following close behind, the number 53 of Bill Adam, as we ride along now with John Cadman.
Oh, right there in the very dangerous corner number 2. Cadman somehow moves to the inside of Cohen and just kind of shoulders him out of the way.
Now remember, turn 2 is that all-important corner where you turn to the left, but all the camber, all the car wants to go to the right. And now we ride along with John Cadman.
And we can't stress enough that these cars were not set up to do this. The center of gravity is much higher. The suspension on the cars was not built and designed to run on road courses. It's a very tricky maneuver to drive a car that was not set up to do this. Although the majority of the drivers said, wow, we're really surprised at how well the ASA car responded to our touch.
Up the Mario Andretti straight. Really not straight at all. And the drivers are finding, Larry, they're topping out around 140, 150 miles an hour when they get up over the hump. Both those cars belonging to Cadman and Bill Adam, belonging to Scott Hansen.
Yeah, Scott Hansen's stable, that's the Jerry Gunderman stable, the car out of Wisconsin. That car was leading the points earlier in the season. I call it one car because when Scott Hansen was the driver, they had one car and a backup. They brought both cars here this week into Mosport, and right now they're running 2nd and 3rd.
Ralph. We'll get to Ralph Shaheen in a moment as we go back to our race here. We're still early. A tremendous pace, a lot quicker, I think, than many people would have expected, Larry. And you wonder if, in fact, the brakes, the fuel, look at Cadman now, looking to the inside of Peter Cohen.
Let me tell you something about the attitude of Cohen coming into this race. He, as well as Cadman, both of them felt like they had a lot of their reputation at stake, and they seem to be taking this, I mean, because every race driver takes it serious, but with more intensity than everyone else. Now, there were some that were questioning, will that intensity result in burning too much fuel and burning off too much tires? I'll tell you right now, they are really taking these cars to the limit.
And I tell you what, look at the number 4 car, or the car in 4th place. That is Leighton Reese, the 32-year-old from Minnesota, former ice racer. He has driven here before. He has road racing experience. He may be the ASA sleeper in all of this.
He absolutely might be. And now, once again, we're side by side. There's Kenny Wilden. Our pole setter has come into the pits.
After qualifying very well, after winning and dominating the Players Limited GM Series, winning 7 of 9 races, Wilden came in here and literally smoked everybody in qualifying. First time in an ASA car, and now he is in the pits.
Let's go back to that story up front. I documented for you the attitude, so to speak, of our first 2 cars. You're riding with 3rd place Bill Adam. His approach to this race was altogether different. He said, I plan on setting back, kind of holding back a little bit, and it's amazing that he is this close to the front and obviously really challenging Cohen when he admittedly said, I'm not going to race hard. That's not my intent in early laps. And you mentioned about Leighton Reese. Here's a guy that I suppose a lot of people think deserves to win this race more than anybody else, only because he has been so loyal to ASA all year. Plus, of course, he has that great road racing background.
And lurking in behind as you see the first 4 cars go by, running in 5th spot right now is the veteran. That is Bob Seneca.
It's a remarkable story. I've been watching Bob Seneca race all my life, and we've all known for quite a long time, of course, that he is one of the most outstanding oval racers in the world. But but to see him running 5th and leading all the ASA regulars, you can't say you're surprised because he and Eddie have dominated this type of racing for so long, but it really does bring a smile to your face, and the word's remarkable. Just keep coming out that Bob Seneker can do it anywhere.
There is Bill Adam as you see the leaders go by. It is John Cadman, Peter Cohen, then Bill Adam, Leighton Reese out of Minnetonka, Minnesota in his number 6, the Lumina. And it is a train. The problem here is I wonder if, you know, on an oval track you would draft a little more. I wonder if that drafting and all those principles just you chuck them aside.
I would imagine if there's any place on this track where drafting principles take effect at all, it would of course be down the backstretch. But because you kind of run that backstretch like strumming a fiddle, you know, it's a bowing back and forth action, and then there's the hill about 3/4 of the way through the back straightaway.
And it's all over for Kenny Wilden as he is quickly out of this event after grabbing the pole here in this ASA race at Mosport. 40 laps, 2.4 miles around, 3.9K.
Really disappointing for Wilden because Midas Muffler, Pringles, and Slick 50, they really came together at the last moment, particularly the Midas Muffler people along with Pringles, to get this car on the racetrack. And I'm sure that everybody, not only just Kenny, but everybody that was associated with that car, they worked so hard making that car go fast. And I think they surprised a lot of people that they were able to get so much speed out of the car. It shows that the raw material was there. They just needed somebody to put the pieces in the right place.
John Cadman continues to lead. We're still early in this ASA race here at Mosport. It's the 5th and final round, round 5, the Players Limited Cup here on TSN. It's nothing but open track for the leader, John Cadman, as he heads up the Mario Andretti Straight here at Mosport. Round 5 of the Players Limited Cup, and an ASA car turning right, you bet, through turn 8. Nobody would have ever thought you'd see this. Left, sure.
Yeah.
But right, no way.
All the weight's on the left side. The car's built to do it. If you're a Canadian, has never seen one of these races, it's probably not as unusual of a sight it is to people who follow racing across North America. But I can only stress how dramatically unusual it is to see these oval track race cars going to the right and to the left, going uphill, going downhill.
As you saw, it was a very short day for the pole sitter, Kenny Wilden out of Burlington, Ontario. Ralph?
It sure was a short day, but it was a very busy weekend for him. Kenny, what was it that put you out of this event?
Basically, it was a clutch. On the pace lap, it started slipping, and I was having a real hard time in the traffic that we had on the first lap there to keep from not being hit from those guys, because I'd step on the gas and it just revved right up.
Well, let's talk about that just for a quick second here. We've got a lot of guys who have not done a lot of road racing. Is it causing a problem out there?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
We've got a lot of guys out there who have not done a lot of road racing. Is it causing a problem?
Well, the guys up in the front that I was with, it wasn't a problem. You know, we've all raced together in the GM series, so Players GM series, so it's not a problem. I think it's going to become a problem perhaps when they start lapping cars, and they're going to have to be careful out there.
We should also mention that 6-time ASA champ Mike Eddy has lost third gear, so it could be a tough day for him as well, gentlemen.
You know, the thing is here, as Cadman continues to lead, Cohen looks to the inside, followed by Bill Adam, 3 veteran Canadian road racers, no surprise, and still in 4th place, Leighton Reese. You know, let's give these ASA people some credit. They know how to drive, they know lines. The difficulty might be in just when to brake, when to shift gears. Those are things that they are not used to.
Vic, I liken to driving any race car, be it an oval, be it a drag racer, or certainly on a road course. It's like shooting layups. The first time in high school gym class, you walk up to that line and throw a ball at the basket, it doesn't go in. Your hands still stay the same, the basket stays the same distance, height and distance away. It's just that the more you do it, the better you get. It's just automatically. And that is what's going on in motor racing. If you've never run road course before, it just takes a while to get laps before you catch on.
As we ride along with Bill Adam currently in 3rd place, Bill goes from the hot seat of the broadcaster to the hot seat of the car now, number 53.
Adam is running in 3rd position. Leighton Reese is 4th. Running in 5th is Scott Lagasse, a veteran road course racer. Johnny Benson Jr. is now running in 6th position. He moves around make that Bob Seneker is 7th. 8th is Jeff Neal. 9th is the number 18 of Lou Gelati. 10th, number 25 of Tony Raines, and moving up to 11th position as we have a change for the lead.
Oh, Cohen goes to the outside of Cadman as they go through 8. Now they'll go into 9, and it will be Cohen on the inside and who retakes the lead.
As I was about to say, number 11 is now running 11th position. That is Steve Petty. Disappointed in his qualifying run. He was only 18th quick, but he has moved through this field. He's the only car that's really made a move here in the early laps.
Oh, and an earlier car going through got up and over the banking there coming out of turn 10. That's the other thing. It's the weight of the cars that will just draw them over and up over the curbing.
The momentum. These cars are a little heavier for their center of gravity than what they should be to be road racers. And once you get close to the edge, you see Cohen, a veteran road racer. It's difficult to reel these cars back in. They don't necessarily get away from you, but you just can't slow down the hippo once the hips start moving back and forth.
And very quickly they are starting to come up now on some of the slower traffic. The number 2 car, this is Terry Wenny.
Terry Wenny, who comes from a motor racing family, great tradition of racing there. But here's a replay on the pass for the lead. There you see Cadman. He has worked himself up to the right side of Peter Cohen. That puts him in a nice position here as we go into a right-hander. Cohen is digging for safety up there, trying to find a line, trying to find some groove, trying to find some tacky rubber up there. They go side by side, and Cohen puts back that challenge.
Now we race along with John Cadman as he chases down the leader. That is Peter Cohen. Through 9, up through turn 10, the quick right-hander and onto the front straight again. Up over the curbing and past the starter stand and screaming down into turn 1.
Peter Cohen in that bright red-orange number 4. That is out of the Leroy Troop Racing Stable in Michigan, one of the most famous car owners and racing stables in ASA racing history. This is the STP Oldsmobile this week. He's one of only 2 drivers to have defeated Kenny Wilden, who started this race on the pole in the GM Players Series this year. Kenny dominated that series, winning 7-9, and Steve Petty is coasting there. He's either off course or something has gone wrong with the car.
The 32-year-old out of Walnut Creek, California, in his Winzoil Lumina.
Steve Petty, as we mentioned to you earlier, was the only driver in this field who had made a move to the front. He began the race in 18th and had moved up as high as 11th position by lap number 9.
And Petty is one of those people that does have road racing experience, a former Trans Am racer.
He looked as though he was right on the corner of the track there, as if he had designs of coming back out on the course, because the car was still rolling under seemingly its own power there in the grass.
I'm really surprised how quickly the leaders have caught up with the back markers here.
Well, what's going on primarily here is that they have caught a lot of the ASA regular drivers, particularly the younger drivers, the drivers who are rookies in ASA racing, people like Tony Roper, whom they're going around right now, who are really greenhorns when it comes to a road course. Not only did they not qualify that quick, they also are not accustomed to a racing pace, and it makes a big difference. Whereas these experienced road racers, they know just what to do as they go to the high side of Tom Jones, an Illinois driver who incidentally finished 2nd in a race earlier this year. So that gives you an idea how quickly these Canadian veteran road racers can go around Mosport.
And those veteran Canadian road racers are dominating still early here in round 5 of the Players Limited Cup on TSA. Well, our new leader is John Cadman, and it's all because of an incident down in Moss Corner. Turn 5A and 5B. As look at this, Cohen looks to the inside of Dennis Lampman.
He had just gone to meet Dennis. For some reason, he was out of the racing line. He spins. Now, look at the top of your screen. Let's see if we can see what happened with Bill Adam. He, too, got sideways. He comes to a stop. He is spun in the same corner. Maybe from the in-car, we can see a little more of what's going on here. They go to the inside of Dennis Lampman. There is Cohen getting sideways right in front of Bill. No, that's John Cadman that right there. He's going around. And the Cadman obviously gets through unharmed, but for some reason, Bill Adam also got caught up in that spin. Now we have another one. That's Greg Freed.
As we ride along with Bill Adam, there you see Greg Freed getting it straightened out again in his Lumina out of Plymouth, Michigan.
Boy, it really scrambles the standings, but perhaps the man who benefited the most is Leighton Reese. We set him up. There he comes in that second white car as one of the potential winners of this race. Scott Lagasse has run very smooth and consistent in Kenny Schrader's car, by the way. He runs in third position. Fourth is John Benson Jr., and fifth is Bob Seneker. We say it that way because they are a couple of those oval racers. Benson crashed very hard earlier this week. He worked all day Saturday to repair the car, and he still runs fourth. Right now, Seneker is fifth, and Cohen now runs in sixth position.
Cadman going by. There is the number 6. That is Leighton Reese, former ice racer, and he'd gain a little bit of experience. The ice racing might come into here. I remember that the Villeneuves will always tell you that their snowmobiling experience means an awful lot in being able to throw the car out to the limit and then bringing it back.
Well, if you're an excellent dirt racer or ice racer, that's for sure. What it gives you, Vic, is car control. It gives you so much experience at a car going at a high rate of speed, doing something that is totally unpredictable. For the most part, what a car does on pavement, you can predict. Oh, Leighton didn't really hit that apex just right, but he saved it. But on dirt or ice, you never really know what the car's going to do. Plus, the steering wheel and the front wheels on the surface react very quickly, and it does give you that great experience. And if you can sort of move that meaningful training over to the pavement surfaces, it really does help you out a lot.
Your leader, John Cadman, out of Hamilton, Ontario. His dad is a veteran stock car driver. He's been running in the Players Limited GM Series since 1990. Second in the points this year, and now he leads here, and he is showing the way, leading all these veteran American Speed Association drivers as they come to Mosport. Ralph?
John Cadman's crew chief is Howie Lettown. Now, Howie's also the crew chief for Bill Adam. Howie, how long can you go before you have to stop for fuel and tires, or can you go all the way?
By watching the lap times, I don't think tires are going to be a problem. We're going to kind of wait and see the number of caution laps we had, and fuel, I think it's going to be real tight. It's going to be a gamble to get some yellow flag laps. It's a little bit early yet, I guess.
It's a pretty torrential pace, so you're going to have to slow him down a little bit?
Well, we've been trying to get him to cool it a little bit, and but he's getting pushed. I'm surprised that they keep running as consistent laps as they are.
We should also mention that Todd Forbes in the 07 car is out of the event due to ignition problems, gentlemen.
Boy, you mentioned about being pushed.
Yeah.
Is Cadman ever being pushed right now by Leighton Reese? Suddenly, this is a race.
For first place, and Reese knows these cars better. Now, I know Cadman's running a car that, to the naked eye, looks exactly like this all season long in Canada for the past few seasons. But these cars are a little different. That, by the way, happens to be Scott Lagasse, the third place car, the third white car there in line. He's also close enough to be a threat. But Reese knows these cars a little better, and if anybody is abusing the tires among the trio of drivers, I don't think it would be Leighton.
And now here we go. I mean, you've got Reese, you've got Lagasse. Lagasse, oh, and we have a spin down the front straight. The number 81, the 46-year-old veteran. This is Harold Fair. Not the first time he spun it. He spun it a little earlier as well.
Now, this is proving to be a very tricky assignment for these ASA drivers. They're just not used to doing this. It takes a tremendous level of concentration, and it's a different kind of concentration than running a high-banked oval like they're used to. That requires tremendous concentration, too. But this particular one, there are 3 or 4 different hand-eye coordination skills that are involved. You know, the high-banked ovals are much more dangerous, and in many respects, a lot of drivers feel that they are the hardest thing to drive on. But if you've not done this, where you've had to worry about the mirrors, you had to worry about downshifting, you had to worry about the clutch, had to worry about, you know, sitting in the car just properly, this is very difficult.
As we look out the back window, and what John Cadman sees is the rooftop of Leighton Reese, looking inside, looking outside, and boy, is he right on his bumper. And of course, while they're doing this, well, then there's Scott Lagasse out of St. Augustine, Florida, and he's right there.
Lagasse is driving the Kenny Schrader-owned Kodiak Chevrolet. This car has run strong in several ASA races earlier this year on the oval. And Lagasse, because of his consistency, we've not seen any of those big long slides. Look how much he's moving up.
Oh, and look at Cadman, and now Lagacé looks to the inside as they go through turn 8 and has him, and Lagacé has moved into second place now as he gets by Leighton Reese. The interesting thing, though, was how Cadman up the back straights just seemed to pull away.
Yeah, he did. And I think what was going on there was that Leighton was so occupied with Lagacé, wondering, well, where was Scott going to try to make the pass? Leighton didn't take the preferred line down the backstretch, because there always is the preferred line, the groove, and I think that he was kind of argued away from it because he was watching what Scott Lagacé was doing.
Now here again, Lagacé is a road racing veteran. He's raced in the Corvette Challenge, has raced here at Mosport, is a veteran of 24-hour endurance kind of racing. So what we have should really not surprise us. We have 3 people up front battling for first place, and all of them are veteran road racers.
You know, Vic, you make a good point about the Corvette Challenge. Those cars were stock cars. They really were a sort of a high-grade showroom stock class. But those cars were very similar, and I'm sure that they responded in almost the same way that an ASA car does, because both of them are purebred race cars designed to do nothing but race.
Now here we come up on some of the back markers, and this is kind of thing that we were wondering about. You know, you have to look in your mirror. The passing, where do you let that person go? Is he going to go inside, outside? Those are all things that these ASA, as you say, roundabouts, roundies, they have to learn.
Oh, and there is Tom Harrington sliding off the course.
Is he in trouble? The former punter for the New Orleans Saints is into the tires coming out of turn 10, and that's exactly where we saw Fair have his spin.
That corner, even though it's one of the lower speed corners on this track, it's a right-hander coming off of that big. Oh, and they're 3 abreast. Those are the leaders there. Lagacé in the grass. Cadman looking for a place to hide. Harrington, here comes through Leighton Reese. Leighton Reese may have more advantage.
Unbelievable. Lagacé actually took the entrance road to pit lane, used it, said, hey, it's asphalt, I can drive here, and then he came back onto the top. Unbelievable.
That was remarkable, and what was happening, I think, in front of them was Harold Fair was trying to recover from his spin, and he was trying to get back out onto the course. He just didn't know somebody was coming, and here come the leaders, and now they are bumper to bumper again.
And surprisingly, nothing changes through that incident coming out of turn 10. It still is your leader, John Cadman, followed by Scott Lagacé, and then in number 6, Leighton Reese.
20 laps are now complete. We are halfway through this 40-lap race here at the nearly 2.5-mile Mosport race. Now here's a replay of what happened just a few moments ago as Tom Harrington was getting ready to pull back out of the course. See the leaders, I don't think it had anything to do with Harrington. They weren't even close to him. Lagacé made a dive, and he found out he was too deep, too hard going into the 4th turn, or the last turn. 4th turn as my overwoods coming through.
But you know what happened? I think they got hung up behind the back marker. It, in fact, was Lagacé had to hit the brakes so hard, there's no room to go. Cadman was ducking inside, and then he found that extra little bit of road leading to the pits and said, I think I'll use this, and off we go.
Boy, this is an interesting match. These 3 cars, they each have made enough teeny mistakes that they've kept themselves together, but they have distanced themselves from the rest of the field, but they appear to be reasonably evenly matched.
This is round 5 of the Players Limited Cup. 2 races on the oval at Cayuga, Ontario. 2 races on the oval at Race City in Calgary. And now, for the first time on a road course, to wind up the 1992 Players Limited Cup. And it's here on TSN. Welcome back, and there you see more problems for Bill Adam. Pieces of his car are on the front straight just outside of pit lane, and he has torn it up.
Yeah, it appeared as though we did not have him on camera when it happened, though, that he got together with, I should say, it seems like he must have gotten together with Peter Cohen, because they were racing on course together. Well, they are in heavy traffic. There's Cohen on the left-hand side of your screen. It's Tom Harrington, Bob Seneker still among the top 10. The 2, Cadman and Adam. Oh, Adam gets into the back of Cohen. Cohen had to go much slower than what he normally takes that corner, and Bill drilled him.
And you see, once again, there's the problem. There was Harrington moving to the inside and really nowhere to go for Cohen, and then of course Adam into the back of Cohen, and the back marker causing the problem.
Well, experienced road racers getting around the tight corners, particularly the slow tight corners, quicker than these oval trackers. And we also mentioned about the inertia. There's the view that Bill Adam has. Boy, that really obstructs it significantly, for him to be continuing to orbit around here at the speeds he is. It's remarkable. But talking again about the inertia, the brakes on these cars are not nearly the quality of brakes that road racers are used to. For Bill, that was going to be a very routine situation where he jumped on the brakes and slowed down. But the brakes on an ASA legal car, as mandated, they try to keep the cost down, simply aren't the high quality that the road racers are used to. And let me amend that. I use the term high quality. That's really misleading, because for what they are and for what they are designed for, they are the highest quality of their type. They're simply not the kind that are designed for the, the stopping on a dime requirements of road racing.
Now you see just out in front and getting by the number 76, may have gotten a glimpse there. That is Bob Seneker. So Bill Adam continues to run it here as he tries to regroup. But I think poor Bill is done for the day. The leader continues to be John Cadman here at Mosport. Welcome back to Mosport. Vic Rutter along with Larry Newber, Ralph Shaheen, as we continue under yellow and during yellow. Pit lane very busy. Cars coming in, tires, some of them tanking up, a little splash of gas.
Lou Gelati, Bob Seneker go by, and here is what happened to Bill Adam. He was involved in an incident in the Dynamax Oldsmobile, as we saw just before we went away to break. They came into the pits, checked the situation out, decided to remove the hood. Now, under normal ASA rules, running without a hood is allowed. Remains to be seen how on this road course they'll go with it.
And the green flag is out, and we're racing again here as Cadman quickly picks it up and tries to pull away from Leighton Reese.
And the number 21 red and white, John Benson Jr., one of the ASA regulars. He's having a great race. He had moved up as high as 4th. He may be 3rd. There he is, right there, right behind the 2 road racers, John Benson Jr.
So John Cadman out of Hamilton, Ontario, in his Motomaster Oldsmobile continues to lead.
Scott Lagasse is in the pits right now, which is a big surprise. Ralph.
Well, all they did, Larry, was they changed left side tires. And you can see Scott is pulling out of the pits now, and it's amazing because they thought they were going to go all the way. All the others were going to do the same thing. The top drivers are all deciding to stay out and stick with track position. So an interesting call by Lagasse.
Interesting, Ralph, but also if this race goes the rest of the way, they just lost this race. They had a chance to win until that moment.
There you see, coming up the back straight, that car off the track on the left-hand side. That is Peter Cohen out of Montreal in his SDP Oldsmobile.
Look at John Benson Jr. in that red and white number 21, the Berger City, Port City Valvoline car, and Benson, who has crashed twice this weekend, is really having a great race.
Looking to the outside of Leighton Reese, 29-year-old out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, the 90 Rookie of the Year in ASA racing. That is Johnny Benson Jr.
John Benson Jr. There's John Freeman, who has spun off course, keeps it going straight, made no contact with anybody, getting back into the fray.
Benson has won 4 times this year, more than $80,000 in American Speed Association racing, and now on the, like so many, on a road circuit for the very first time and not looking out of place.
No, he doesn't look out of place at all. He's won 4 times. He's second to Mike Eddy. Look at the pressure that Benson is applying to Leighton Reese. John Benson is second on the list of most laps led so far in ASA this year. He may have the advantage on Reese. He looks to the right side, but no. Leighton gets a good pull out of corner number 2 and holds on to the position. Benson has won 6 pole positions this year. More than anybody else. No one else has even won as many as 2.
Out of turn 5, and now up the Mario Andretti straight for the 3 leaders, and it really is now a 3-car trade. Cadman, followed by Reese, followed by Benson Jr. You almost saw some, what is it, tire, rubber coming off?
Yeah, that was part of someone's tire that comes off, and also it's not from an individual tire. The rubber gets warm, and as the pieces of it come off, they collect. And it's almost like taking a pebble and rolling it across the sand. It picks up other particles as it rolls along, and it gets bigger than what it started as.
Now, Cadman gets to do something here which road racers know how to do, and that's protect the lead. You know, you talk about cars getting suddenly a lot wider than they are, but Reese knows all about that too.
Yeah, he sure does. But this racetrack is going to run particularly narrow for a driver who's used to running on ovals. It's a tough place for these guys to pass unless you are significantly faster than the car in front of you. or have put a lot of miles on this track. The key, and there is Benson once
right
again.
Boy, is he ever up there and having a sniff at the back of Leighton Reese?
He gets a big run down that hill, but now let's see if he still has the same kind of momentum when he gets to the end of the Mario Andretti backstretch, because sometimes if you give up a little bit going through those slow speed corners, it really helps you at the end of the next straightaway where you gain those 200 RPMs back.
The leaders through 5A, through 5B to complete Moss Corner, and once again up the Mario Andretti straight, which isn't really straight at all.
Benson has got to be feeling very good about this, because there was no ASA regular, frankly speaking, that was expected to contend with the road racers. And after Benson had crashed very hard on Friday, a lot of people were wondering, would he even repair the car enough to race? You can see one mistake there, and it cost him about half a football.
Exactly. Bad line, had to get on the brakes to hold it, to keep it on line, and you're right. He drops about 10 car lengths quickly after he was right up and underneath the bumper of Leighton Reese.
Now, the object for Benson, he's got to hold on to his emotions. He appears to have a car that's nearly as fast, maybe even faster than the two leaders. And if he loses his emotions, Vic, and now tries to make up for his mistake, it will cause him to make others, and it'll be a lot worse situation than he's in right now. He really has to hold on to his thoughts at this point, concentrate on his line, and just gain a little bit more each lap, each turn to catch up.
Leighton Reese again, right up underneath, applying the pressure, looking, having a thought, maybe, is it now or do I wait? At all times, though, you see, it keeps Cadman looking in his mirrors, and the minute you can take that driver's attention away, that's when he might make a mistake. And Leighton Reese, the 32-year-old out of Minnesota, is hoping right now that Cadman makes one of those mistakes.
I was asked last night at dinner, and one of the people that matter of fact, I dined with Bill Adam and Steve Petty, and I said, gee, I hope you guys finish first and second. But if I had to pick somebody, I felt that the right combination of knowledge of car, this type of racing, and incentive is sitting behind the wheel of number 6.
Ralph?
Well, this is the problem for Scott Lagasse. It wasn't a fuel strategy move, it was a flat tire. So unfortunately for the Kodiak Chevrolet, the rubber let him down today.
As we ride again with your leader, John Cadman, in his Motomaster Oldsmobile out of Hamilton, Ontario, the veteran Players Limited GM racer is leading, and he is not leading by very much, Larry Newman.
Oh, boy, he sure is not. Leighton Reese seemed to sit back there for a few laps. He might have been cooling off his tires or saving his tires, but he has turned the wick up. I mean, the fire has been stoked underneath Leighton Reese, and right now, Reese is not only filling the mirrors, but the back bumper. He is knocking at the door of Mr. Cadman.
Johnny Benson.
There's the move. There's the move, and Leighton Reese tries to make the move, but he overcooks it, and he spins.
Wrong place, and Reese is out at turn 5 into 5A. He tried it. Now he smokes it, and here comes Johnny Benson, and Leighton Reese will take up the chase again, but that is not the place you want to pass.
Boy, a surprise that Leighton Reese, of all people, tried to pass right there. Now, there is second and third on the screen, but Leighton Reese, I just mentioned, he apparently had cooled his tires. He was ready to make his move. He made the pass, but he just went into corner number 5 too hard.
And now Reese has to get on the binders again as they go through 8, and Johnny Benson Jr. is pushing him for second. But it is a big mistake, a very big mistake, and it's going to prove, it looks like, beneficial, very beneficial for John Cadman.
34 laps are now complete. They're second and third on the screen. Cadman is continuing to lead. Bob Seneker is running in 4th, and in 5th is Bill Adam. Now here's another look at that pass. There you see Reese. He gets to the inside. He's got the line, but he's just gone into the corner too hard. He gets a little bit off line, which also makes the wheels break loose, gives you more disadvantage. He gets up into the loose stuff on the high side of the racetrack. No traction. He stays on the throttle to try and pull the car through all that loose debris in the speedway, but not enough. It was to no avail. He spun out, although he only dropped back about 100 yards.
Well, yeah, and he did a great job just to keep it going, didn't stall it, and held off Johnny Benson Jr. As the leader is John Cadman, and now Reese, you can see him, is he ever hanging it on the edge, trying to make up what he lost in that spin.
We had run down the first 5 in 6th position. Right now is Lou Gelati running a very solid race. He's a veteran road racer. Glenn Allen Jr., 3rd among the ASA regulars. He started this race in 13th position And the Track Auto Pontiac is now running in 7th position. Tony Raines in the ETR car is running in 8th position. 9th is Jeff Neal in 10th. And the DNR Racing Ford Thunderbird is Tim Fedewa. That's a rundown of the top 10. Some of the ASA regulars kind of sneaking in there.
Now have a look at Leighton Reese. I don't know, I'm seeing kind of puffs of smoke every once in a while. I don't know if he's just running it so hard and it's just brake smoke, but he is really trying now to put it all together. A little extra maybe. And you know, this is the kind of track as well. We know that if you hang it out there, you can lose it.
Yeah, very easily. Very easily, because so much of this track is high speed, and the higher speed a track is, the easier it is to lose it. I mean, it's one thing to hang it out on a, say, a quarter-mile oval or a slow city street road course, but on a fast road course, that's very, very touchy.
Now we're on board with Bill Adam, and it's been a bad day for Bill, who, to his credit, is now in 5th place, but a badly damaged car that aerodynamically is going to lose something.
Boy, he sure gets points for perseverance, though, doesn't he? That car is going to look like a modified race car before the race is over, and he has driven very hard and driven quite well, frankly, to move back up to 5th position. They've made a pit stop. He's had a spin. He's had a couple of incidents, as a matter of fact, and he's still running in 5th position.
And look who's there. There's Bob Seneker coming up in his number 84, ASA's first $1 million man, and here he comes
and
in that wounded Oldsmobile as Billy Adam.
4th and 5th place. So Adam now has 4th place in his sights, and hopefully the radio is working. Maybe that has survived all the altercations that Bill Adam has been involved in, and if so, you know, I got one more position perhaps here I can get directly in front of me.
Here's Ralph.
Our top 3 competitors are all trying to go the distance, but there's one team who is sitting in a fine position to take it out from under them. The 4th place car, Bob Seneker, he did pit. Now the Ford doesn't get as good a gas mileage, so they were forced to pit. If the others drop out, Bob Seneker's team is sitting in a great place to find victory lane.
If that's people that have to go by the wayside. What do you think?
Wouldn't that be something? Bob Seneker in his 20th ASA season. Who is going to win this first ASA race on a road course? We'll find out when we come back. It could really be quite the finish, and Bill Adam is there in 5th place. Some mistakes up front, and you never can tell.
It is remarkable that Bill Adam is in 5th place in, you know, the Dynamax car, because he's had a crash, he's had a spin, he's had a pit stop. As we get the signal for 2 laps to go, the furled white and checkered flag simultaneously as the leaders go by. There goes Cadman, there goes Leighton Reese, who has gained ground. Leighton Reese has been thrashing fans, and he has moved up on John, but I don't know, as consistent as John has been driving, that Leighton has enough time to catch. And what's he do with him once he catches him?
Yeah, that's it. How do you get by? As we say, Cadman, the stock car history of his family goes way back in Southern Ontario, and he knows how to protect the lead from his experience on course, and you see that. It's an amazing thing. When you do it in a car like this, it's exaggerated. When you get a little wonky like that and you lose ground and lose time, it's tough to make up.
It really is. It's very difficult to catch up, and I've mentioned I don't want to beat a dead horse, but the inertia of these cars, and it works both ways. If you get it going and smoothly, you can gain a lot of ground, but if it gets swinging out of control, you can lose a lot of ground very quickly. 38 laps complete. Got about a lap and a half to go. Leighton Reese is really giving it all that he has to try and catch. There is 3rd place, John Benson Jr., 4th place, Bob Seneker. Yep, ASA fans, Mike Eddy is missing. He's still out there. He's running approximately 17th position by our unofficial count right now. But as far as the ASA left-hander regulars go, it's been all John Benson Jr. and Bob Seneker. Look at Seneker.
Hey, listen,
swinging that car to the
Seneker says he raced on a street course on a track years and years and years ago, but it was still something new for him to suddenly take it up. And as you see, the white flag is out for 1 lap remaining for Bob Seneker and the rest of the ASA cars here at Mosport. Can Cadman hold on to win here at Mosport?
What we do not know, we got a quick glimpse of that yellow and blue car right there. That is Gary St. Amand. He came in leading the Players Limited Cup. Steve Holtzhausen is running in 2nd position, but we don't know exactly where the 2 of them are. And look at here, Leighton Reese has caught John Cadman.
Leighton Reese, will he have one more chance to get up at Cadman?
This could be exciting, Vic.
This is through. 5A, 5B, Moss cornered. That's where Reese spun earlier. Now they head up the Mario Andretti straight, and we've seen earlier, Larry, that in fact, Cadman has better top-end speed.
Cadman really got around 5A and 5B. It's not so much the top-end speed, it was the last turn before the straightaway that Cadman really, look at the distance that he's putting between himself and Leighton Reese. And Leighton smoking the tires on the brakes going into the very high-speed corner 8. Oh.
Around some back markers, Cadman through 8, through 9, one more turn. Leighton Reese will have a look inside, gets it up over the curving. No, here comes John Cadman, and John Cadman will win the debut of the American Speed Association cars here at Mosport.
There is Scott Hansen, the man who was injured in this car. There is John Cadman's father, who is also a part of this, I won't call it a makeshift crew, because they rented their equipment and their machine out to John, and a lot of pressure on the young man this weekend, but he delivered.
John Cadman from Hamilton, Ontario shows the ASA fellas what it's like to run here, and a congratulatory thumbs up from Leighton Reese, who finishes second. Johnny Benson Jr. is third. Bob Seneker, the veteran, hangs in there for fourth spot, and our own Bill Adam will finish fifth. John Cadman Jr. wins the fifth and final event of the 92 Players Limited Cup here at Mosport. It was quite a race. John Cadman Jr., the winner, as the ASA cars do what they've never done before, and that is turn right. A very happy Scott Hansen crew. Now on behalf of Larry Newber, Ralph Shaheen, and our entire crew, I'm Vic Roeder. Goodbye from Mosport and the 1992 Players Limited Cup.
Very cool to see Hamilton, Ontario's John Cadman Jr. take the big win in that ASA event. And good to see Canadian Motorsport Hall of Famers Kenny Wilden and Bill Adam in the field. Their GM Players experience sure helped them transition to the ASA cars quickly. Thanks for watching From the Vault. I'm Todd Lewis. See you next time.
From the Vault is brought to you by M-Zone, premium auto care, proudly owned and made by Canadians. By Recap Recovery Drink. By WeatherTech. For the perfect fit and ultimate in-vehicle protection, nothing protects like WeatherTech. Order online at weathertech.ca. And by the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame. Visit our website for Hall merchandise.